Hello and welcome, dearest. I'm Grandma Mimsy. I got it. I wanted to like the plates, and sometimes there's that advice I give, excuse me, that when your nail art is frustrating you, sometimes you gotta step away. It's not giving up. It's it's knowing where you are with you and where you are with what you're working with. So, that being said, I finally got brave and opened up the pigment powder. The neon yellow pigment powder, yeah. And here are here are my there's sometimes that word that escapes you. It'll pop up. So, that being said, I have figured out some hurdles. I still don't like this one, but that's okay. I like the others, and I don't know what to do with that one. So, more playtime with those two to figure out will probably coming. Now, the pigment powder is wildly weird in that it is more like a fluff powder. It's not like it's a glitter or a chrome or the other things that you probably have experienced through Maniology before. This is like chalk dust, if that would, give you, and I know that looks like there's not a whole lot in there, but I did push it down because I was doing me, and it was like super fluffy, and I was trying to use my fingers, and I made a little bit of a mess. I got a little bit of a poof. So be very careful when you open this. I'm going to say, alert, advisory, when you take this one off and you've got just that that seal in the thing, you're going to want to go around the edge and find out where it's open, because there's one little spot that when you push on that, if you're not careful the way you're pushing on it and holding it down, when you go to open it, you're going to end up with like, cloud poof of yellow everywhere. I was prepared because I understand how those jars work, and the pigment powders and the glitters and all the fine stuff that these things go into. So I did get a little bit because it'll sneak up on you. So just cautiously optimistic. And that stuff is potent. That's the other warning. Potent. But I have some things that may or may not be a good thing depending on your perspective. So I'm going to start with that it doesn't show up real well on the purple in the rubbing of it. And I don't know if that's even, you can't even really see it right there. And that's okay. That's not a bad thing. That's just that. But let's see which one is which. Okay. So this one is the powder by itself. I could tell, and I'll tell you how and why I can tell. So this would just put the sticky, I'm on focus. I put the sticky base coat and rub the powder on, ever so delicately, and you kind of get a weird kind of cloudy yellow result. So there's that. This one I used the yellow that I put on the base, and I could tell because at one point when why is it doing that? Sometimes technology, you just kind of go, what in the world? So I put the yellow on, and then when I went to go move something, or it fell, and I got a smudgy right there where it dented it, and I could never fill it back in or get it to fix. So there's that. But then I put, like I said, the powder over the yellow. So it gives you a little bit more depth of the yellow, whereas both of those seem independently very thin, but when you combine them, you get more. The other thing I did over the yellow that I kind of liked is that I did this one. I'm getting better at it. So that's the thing. These are going to give you a little bit you're going to need to practice with, because picking up these images, it's the way that the images are etched, the design of the image. It's going to take you just a little bit of a minute to, practice a couple times to figure out the pickup on that. So on this one, I did the yellow as the base, and then I did acorn. So it's the brown, and yellow and brown kind of go together pretty good. So I did the brown, and then I did the star part. And the thing with the star part is you got to do multiples of them. That was what I was figuring out. They're so thin and so fine, you're not going to get a whole lot of distinction. So you might need to repeat the repeats and do them, in order, where you're doing this one and then putting this one in the middle and then putting this one over the top, and then go back and do them again. And you're doing all the same color, not coordinating colors, that gives you that depth. So that's what I figured out right there. But I like how that one kind of came out. And then that was what I figured out, though, was with the butterfly, to do it a couple of times. So I did, again, over the yellow, I used straight up black for the gradient of this one, and then did the butterfly, and I kind of slipped a little bit, but the way I was holding it gets it, and then the way I was holding it, it wanted to slip, and I think it had to do with, I was using one of my older stampers, and it has a little, it likes to, some of them like to bow in like that. So as I get those upgraded and updated, but that one kind of came out cute, and then I thought, well, let me just do the butterfly by itself. So that's all three of the stamps, and you kind of get that fluffy, fuzzy, poofy kind of thing going on. It does not seem like it's focusing very well, that you can see it very clearly, but I hope you can on camera when you're watching the replay of it. Now, here's the interesting concept of this one. This one is going to kind of warp your mind a little bit. At least it did for mine. So I did straight up black. Trying to move my fingers. I did straight up black and evil eye. Straight up black is the base, evil eye is the base. The same shades, same exact polish. I just did, the base is black. Come on, focus. Okay, there we are. The base is black and the base is evil eye. And then I did evil eye over the black and black over the evil eye. And it's the same stamp, and it gives wildly different. I know the camera is not doing it justice, but this one you get more of the deep, there it goes. You're getting the deepness of it, and it's very, very dark. This one you're getting more of the metallic. It is just wild how the exact same colors over each other in different directions give you completely different results, even though they're the same shade, the same colors. And I did it with this one here. This one then, because I had a little bit left over, so I did Bam White. I did the straight up black. because when I was stamping these other ones, I had a little bit of the shading still around. So I kind of pieced it together where I put on the sticky base, and then I kind of went, because it was the outline, I kind of brought it in a little bit and just did the pieces so that I would get it to look like the outline. And then I put Evil Eye in the center of this one. Evil Eye in the center. I did straight up black around the outside. I scraped down, I scraped sideways, so it kind of mixed them. And this is the result. It's wild. Wild, wild. I'm just... Come on, focus. How you get the merging of the two over the white. So there's that idea. I kind of did the same thing with this one with the Evil Eye, but it didn't have enough for it. And how do I put this? So I used ultraviolet, and this is strawberry blush. So I did the hearts, and I mudged it because I was a little impatient in the way I moved, and I smushed it the wrong way. So I came back, I did the sticky base coat, I did all of my stampers where I had the 3 images. Each of the 3 images, I had them multiple times, and I just did over again and again and again until I got it. Sometimes you just got to keep at it. You just got to keep going until you get it. Push those boundaries, test those limits. Now, kind of did the same thing with this one, where I didn't paint a base coat on this one. So the nail is clear or sheer, and I did acorn again as straight up black as the part that goes around the outside. And then I did the same thing with the moon that I did with the heart. I just kept filling it in until I got it to the point. And it was a bit, that whole I'm too impatient to wait. Well, I thought it was dry, but it wasn't dry enough, so they kind of smooshed on the first go round. So I tried it again and redid it, and then the last time I went over it with the yellow for the outline. And I like how that one turned out. I also turned it upside down. So basically on your plate, you're going to get it this way, but I turned the image and stamped it the other way. So that's where you get that one. This one then, on the powders, I put a little bit of the pigment on the stamper and kind of gave it a good rubby. And then I used the yellow to pick up the image, put the, words are hard. On the stamper, I put the powder. I rubbed it onto the stamper. I then put the yellow on the image of the clouds, scraped, and then I used the pigmented powder on the stamper to pick it up, and I got the pickup. So that's another option for that. Got it. Then I had a little bit left over, and I thought, well, we'll try this one again. This one is, I don't know, and I couldn't get it to stick right. I don't know what it is with that image. Me and that image are, gonna have to have a powwow. As you can see, I'm covered in yellow pigment right here. Little tiny spot. I didn't make too big of a mess. Just a little bit. And I'm covered it. I've washed my hands several times. Fun stuff. So there's the artwork. I did it. I have a couple more things I want to play with, new plates and things I want to share with you, new items that I want to share with you. I'll be doing that, and then hopefully I can come back to this and play some more, because I like it now. I just figured out that sometimes it's you, sometimes it's the plate, and that it's a little tricky, and you gotta stick with it. So those two things coming together, sometimes you just, put the training wheels on and come back to these things and, work on it. Like anything worth having, any skill worth getting, in the Asian cultures that, you apprentice from the time that you're, 4 or 5 years old until you're, 50 or 60, and working with the master. You don't get to be master until the master passes. And then when there is no other master, it transfers to you. You're now the master. You're always the apprentice until that title, or until they retire, or whatever the situation is. But your experience into something, learning of that, it takes most of your lifetime. That's okay. This is a fun hobby. And it's the exploration, and if you can let this get you into a mindfulness, that's kind of what I had to do, and then you can find it enjoyable, and do some fun stuff. And I really the other day didn't think I was going to get these images. I really didn't think that I was going to get the art on this to play. I just was so irritated. Yeah, well, it's on me to not be mad at the plates, and to figure out, what I can do with it. And look at those. Oh my gosh. I'm super excited. Those are keepers. I mean, seriously. Of course, though, we learned from what Tiana did with the special box last year, the Advent Halloween box, mixing Evil Eye and Black, using those two as a color comparative. Oh my gosh, those colors together are just awesome sauce. So I'm just gonna say we need the opposite of an Evil Eye in a blue and a gray and a purple. We need more. Please with a cherry on top. Please with the whipped cream and the nuts and the whole thing. Can we all just, next time we see the Maniology ladies, can we all let them know we want a lineup similar to Evil Eye in all the shades? Oh, I'm gonna, be like, if we could get, I mean, I know that Ultraviolet is kind of, sort of, but it's not the same. I don't know what they did to Evil Eye, or what formulation it is, but please. And again, I'm still on the fence on these. I like the yellow. I wanted to like the purple. I'm not a huge fan of it. I did figure out, okay, my bottle did leak. I did have an issue with it. I don't know what the heck. Again, not complaining, but you can see it's all rubbery right there. Something in the process of production or transportation or whatever the case, my bottle had issues. So that's probably why this polish is weird, and not in a good weird. This is, like I said, it's super thin. This is the opposite of that. Not everything is a hit, and you can't please everybody all the time. And I'm not saying Maniology has to please me, in my endeavors all the time. And if you got those colors and you love them, more for you. But Evil Eye is mine. And retrograde. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please be kind. Please do not let those who are in the Misery Loves Company Club recruit you, and they're always recruiting. And you know, share, like, and subscribe. Those are all wonderful things. I appreciate the community that has supported me and has helped me along the way, and all those who watch my videos and say such wonderful and kind things on a regular basis. I appreciate and love you all so very much. You encourage me, you help me. This is my mental health care, self-care practice. So, you know, I'm telling you that this is special and important to me on so many levels that I can't even put into words. So know that I'm not just saying these words to be saying these things. I'm saying them because I do truly mean them. And I hope you all have the best and most wonderful day every day, that you know, for your best and highest good. I know not every day can be a happy day, and sometimes we're going through some things, but those things that we go through, we, as the sticker says, we grow through. And you know, then we can bloom with grace and hopefully come out better on the other side. I know there's a lot happening right now in the world. There will be for a while. Some of it is, I'm going to leave it at that. Big hugs. Lots of love. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.